Uh, yep, catching up. Still way behind. Probably 6 videos behind. What are you gonna do? GAC is so boring. I made it to Kyber. Not even excited. Don't even care. What difference does it make? Everything is status quo. Um, Good news. My dad's co-op board approved our buyers, so that's one less headache for me. Definitely a bittersweet thing, having grown up there with my father. I lived there for 30 years. I didn't move out and buy my own place until I was 30 because I'm a good Jew and saved a lot of money until I was able to buy my own place. But yeah, not. It's been some 7 or 8 months in the making. Took a while. We listed in September. I was cleaning it out and fixing it up, plastering it up, repainting it, and all that all summer, June, July. Listed in September. Had a couple of offers, neither of which really came to fruition. And then we had these recent buyers in November, and it just took a while to get to this point between the holidays and COVID, everyone working from home and needing to get together a lot of paperwork. Anyone that has to sell a property through an estate, you'll know what I'm talking about. And if you don't know, and God forbid you ever have to do it, sell physical property out of an estate, I will be able to empathize with you because it is such a terrible process. First of all, you're feeling like you're picking the bones of your late relative, which is already very uncomfortable. And then the amount of paperwork and the number of hoops that you have to jump through in order to make it all happen is just, it's fucking terrible. It is terrible. Especially if you are not the executor. If you are not the executor of the state, because I'm not the executor of my father's estate, my brother is, even though my brother does not have an ownership or inheritance interest in my father's apartment. And my brother is good about it. He's not like a dick. It's just, it's one more person that you have to have in the loop, on top of the brokers and the lawyers and my sister with whom I co-inherited this place. So it's just a lot of people involved. And well, especially for me, because my brother and sister never lived in this place. They were much older from a previous marriage, already had established careers pretty much by the time I was born, because they're half siblings. So I was the only one that actually lived there, and it's not fun. It's a shitty process. So if anyone has to deal with that, I feel for you. I'm happy to help try to talk you through it if need be, because it can get very frustrating. And if you don't know the system, I guess you would say, then it can be very confusing and frustrating. So hit me up if you are dealing with something similar. I will say that throughout this process and the process of selling my mother's apartment, she is still with us, but she, like many, has no idea, doesn't know the first thing about dealing with real estate. So I assume I was de facto everything on it. Basically, it was like I have power of attorney over her because she just let me make all the decisions. which is a little bit easier because then it's just me that I have to worry about. I don't have to worry about my brother, my sister, this, that, and the other thing. But I've taught myself a little bit about the whole process from a real estate and legal standpoint. Of course, I'm not a lawyer, nor am I a real estate broker, but I certainly learned a fair few things about the whole process. So if anyone is dealing with that, I'm happy to help if and where I can. Outside of that, not a whole lot else to report. I was supposed to get my mom her second vaccination shot today, but there's another snowstorm blowing through here, so it got bumped until Tuesday. So I'll get my mom her second shot on Tuesday, and then I'll get my second shot on Friday. We'll, of course, report any adverse effects that might befall me. I don't expect it to be all that different from the first shot, wherein I was just knocked out for 2 days. I wasn't feverish, I didn't feel ill, I was just fucking exhausted. So I slept for like 2 days straight after that first shot. And I'll probably expect more of the same from this second shot. No, I haven't grown any extra limbs, so that's good. Johnson & Johnson applied for emergency use for their vaccine, which, while not as effective as Pfizer or Moderna, it certainly does not hurt to have a third emergency use authorized vaccine, because anyone that has been trying to get a vaccine can attest that it is a frustrating process. It's hard to make appointments. A lot of places don't have the supply to make more appointments. There are a lot of people that want it. There are plenty of people that don't want it, and that is your right. I would still, even if I weren't eligible, I would still want to get it. A lot of people are saying that there isn't enough science behind it, and that's not incorrect. I just think that it is preferable to the alternative. Yeah. A lot of people are still getting COVID, man, despite us being almost a year into it. Spanish flu, the second year, was more deadly than the first. I'm not sure if that was due to certain mutations, but I know that the second year was more deadly than the first. And we've had a couple of mutations with COVID already. And COVID, well, not just COVID, viruses can really not only, but certainly mutate a whole lot faster if they are allowed to run rampant. Because the more infections, the more likely mutations are to occur. You can look that up. That is true. You don't have to just take it from me. So, to the extent that we can have more people vaccinated, the less likely it is for the virus to mutate. Obviously, that does not preclude it from mutating, because there's always going to be a certain group of people that, well, the vaccine either will not work for, or just by chance. Yeah, but the fewer infections, the fewer the chances of a virus mutating. Which is why I think, again, this isn't exactly backed by science, but if you look at, certainly with regard to the Brazilian strain, Brazil has had, pretty much from the beginning, rampant, widespread infection rates. And I think that the Brazilian strain can certainly be at least partially attributable to that fact, that the virus ran rampant there for months and months and months and months. Brazil has been hit very, very hard from the very, very beginning. And despite our overall infection rates and numbers here in the States, I think there is something to be said for the fact that we haven't identified a quote unquote United States strain as of yet. The strains that we've had were the original, quote unquote, original ones, and now the UK, Brazilian, and South African strains. So as shitty as we have been at times with the virus, I think it is interesting to note that we do not have a quote unquote United States strain. So good on us, I guess. Interesting that the UK strain is the UK strain, because I feel like they were generally better than we were about it, but I guess not. I don't know. Again, this is why it's not backed by science, right? It's also, a lot of it is just chance. But certainly the more infections, the more likely something will mutate. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's frustrating. It is very frustrating. And the South African strain really does scare me. Like I've said ad nauseum on here. Because it's resistant to vaccines. That's not to say that vaccines don't work against the South African strain. It's just a lower percentage chance. But anyway, next time.